We're all going to have to deal with people in one way, shape, or form at one point or another. And I don't care how technical your position is. Let's say you're a coder. You think a coder would just be in their cubicle, just typing away code. But that's not always the case. Who is this coder writing software for in the first place? They're not writing it for a machine. They're writing that code for an end user. And who is that end user? That end user is none other than a human. Even highly technical positions eventually need to build people skills, otherwise their life is going to be difficult. The only problem though is that growing up, we weren't taught much social skills fundamentals, principles that can last us for eternity. Principles like how to build a friend, how to de-escalate a situation that's getting out of hand, how to criticize someone without making an enemy. I mean, these are three certain fundamentals that we should have learned, yet we were never taught it in a professional way. Instead, we had to learn via our experiences, which is code for you have to learn the hard way. You have to learn through a lot of pain. You have to throw a bunch of shit on the wall and see what's stuck. That way. Now, if you were to ask me, this is a brilliant way to build your street smarts, aka your social skills, mainly because in the real world, experience is king. But you know what's better than experience alone? Experience with book knowledge. Book knowledge is powerful because you start to understand the theories. And once you can understand certain theories, you have a toolbox that you can always go back to make sense of your experiences. Rather than just collecting a bunch of memories that don't make sense, there's no patterns behind it, the books allow you to make unique sense of everything that you have been through. In today's video, I'm going to drop to you my 5 most highly recommended social skills books. These are my personal favorites, mainly because I've read these books, I've applied these books, and I got practical results from these books. These aren't the only books that you should read, but personally for me, I'm going to list out these 5 in no particular order, by the way. It's just how I see best fit for this video. And if you have personal books yourself, make sure you drop them in the comment section right on below. Now, with that being said, I'm going to list off the first most important one. And this book is on everyone's list, by the way. That's why I think it's best to just get this one out of the way. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This book is powerful mainly because you could be reading it 1,000 years ago, you could be reading it 1,000 years into the future, and still, it's going to be more relevant than ever. Why? It's because Dale Carnegie is dropping practical insights regarding human nature. These aren't just small little glitz and glam kind of tactics. These are pure fundamentals that can help you level up as a communicator with other humans. One of the insights that he gives is regarding the human name. The human name is so powerful, but the fact that he's able to put it into words, where you always had an understanding that the name was powerful, but when you're seeing it in words and he's listing everything out for you, it clicks. You're able to make sense of something. And that's what this book does a tremendous job in. Not only does Dale include stories, he also has a lot of things that you would consider common sense, but they're not so common. And he's able to put it into words so easily that anyone can understand it. This book is on everyone's top list, mainly because it's so damn powerful and so easy to understand. Make sure you read it if you already haven't. And the beauty is, it's a pretty short read. You could get through it in a week or so, maybe even less. So that's my first recommendation. My second recommendation is Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. I personally think this is the most underrated book of all time. I may be exaggerating, but in the context of my life, I believe this to be true. This is personally my favorite book regarding social skills, mainly because it's so relevant and I feel as though the author wrote this book strictly for me. Keith has a brilliant way of bringing up insights that you never even thought about. One of the things that he brings up is the importance of having dinner parties. At first, I was thinking, dinner parties? Man, that's for old people. That's not for young people like me. Yet, the more that I thought about it, the more that I started to realize that having a dinner party or an event in the comfort of your own home or formal event in general is a powerful way to stick out. And the way that Keith brings it up, he doesn't only just bring it up and leave you out to dry, he also shares personal stories. And trust me, this book has a lot of stories for you to think, all right, you're bringing it up, but how does this work in the real world? Keith will show you. He's a great businessman as well, so he's able to showcase to you how these network building tactics relay into profits as well. So if you're a businessman, I highly recommend that you check out this book. And if you're not a businessman, but you're looking to just level up your network as a whole, Keith has timeless principles that you want to check out. One of the most underrated books of all time. The third book is How to Be a Power Connector by Judy Robinett. And this book is sort of like the last book, Never Eat Alone, where Judy is able to showcase to you how having a solid network turns into profits as well. Judy is brilliant because where she's from, there's not that many events that's normally thrown. So the fact that she's able to be this powerful networker and teach you about social skills principles says a lot about what she brings to the table. Another dope part of this book is that she caters a lot of the chapters towards the new generations as well. She talks about how you can use social media to, be social, how you can provide value to others by creating content. Others don't necessarily talk about that, but Judy is able to put it great into words. Not only does she tell you how to level up your offline communication, but your online communication as well. And a combination of those two is what builds a power connector. The fourth book is Social Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I've recommended his other book, Emotional Intelligence, plenty of times. I feel as though emotional intelligence and social intelligence are cousins. And if you want to be great at social intelligence, you gotta improve your EQ. But this book, Social Intelligence, is a book that delves into the science, the biology of people. He talks about something called neural balleting, how we are wired to connect with other humans. He talks about the brain architecture, how tribal we are. He talks about a lot of the science aspect of human nature. The first three books I talked about in this book recommendation list are more, if you just want to learn people skills. But if you want to learn the nitty-gritty science, the hardcore details, this book is for you. But just a quick little disclaimer, this book isn't for everyone, I would say. This book is not an easy read. It's going to take you some time to read it. The text is not too simple, but it's simple enough if you have the desire to learn about the nitty-gritty details of human nature. If that's your cup of tea, then Social Intelligence is the book for you. And finally, the fifth book is The Charisma Myth by Olivia Fox-Caban. This book should empower you, especially if you're someone that's shy, highly introverted, considers yourself bad with people, because Olivia is able to showcase how charisma is not just a right reserved for a few people, it's a right reserved for anyone. Anyone can be charismatic, have a warm personality, better yet, an attractive personality. You just need to work on the small little details. One of the things that she talks about is taking 2 seconds to wait before you respond. And the reason that this is powerful is because it allows you to calm down a little. If you're extremely nervous, then slow down, champ. All you gotta do is take a 2-second pause. Another recommendation she gives is, let's say you're suffering from social anxiety. Where's most of your focus? In your head. What she tells you to do is focus on the bottoms of your feet. And when you can do that, you start bringing your mind back to the present moment. These are just two highly practical insights that she provides in order to become more present as a whole. One thing that you realize with most charismatic people is that they're present. And the more present that you are, the warmer that your personality becomes. So there you have it, my top 5 recommendations for social skills books. And trust me, there are many more that I can recommend, but I don't want to give you too many book suggestions because the more that you keep on reading, the less that you keep on doing. You want to read enough in order to understand the principles regarding a certain subject, and then you want to begin. Luckily, at this point in your life, I'm sure you've had multiple social interactions, whether it's with friends, whether it's with families, business partners, rivals, etc. So these books are going to help you make so much sense of things that you never knew about yourself. Remember, we're all dealing with people in one way, shape, or form, whether we're aware of it for right now or not. So level up your social skills and build your street smarts. All the links for the 5 books and my newsletter are going to be in the description box right on below. Check it out, and thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel.